Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the another session in 3G 4G wireless communication systems. So today we are going to discuss about signal to interference noise ratio for multi-user CDMA. Okay, so in previous videos we have almost covered the 3G 4G wireless communication systems syllabus. So if you are preparing for any university exam, then I highly recommend you to check out the playlist because we have taught each and everything which will be useful for a student on an average. Okay, so about 80% of the 3G 4G wireless communication has been covered in our playlist, so you can just check the playlist. You will find each and every topic there, right? So today our aim is to know about signal to interference noise ratio for multi-user CDMA. So I will be deriving the total derivation here. Okay, so first I will just explain you what is meant by multi-user CDMA and why there is interference, right? So assume that there is a base station, right? Something like this. All right. So assume that it's a base station. Okay. And there are two users. Let us say user one, sorry, user zero, and let us say user one. Right, so he will be receiving the signal from base station and this guy will also be receiving the signal from the same base station. But now what will be happening is, since we are using CDMA, the signal which will be transmitted to these two guys will be the composite signal which is transmitted, right? So it contains the information for user 0 as well as for user 1, because we know that in CDMA we will be using some sequence to separate user 0 from user 1, but we will be combining all those data into a single composite signal. Then we will be transmitting it through the wireless channel, right? So that means the signal which will be coming to user 0 will contain the information which is useful for user 0, and also the information which is meant for user 1, and additive white Gaussian noise which will be added whenever the signal is transmitting through the environment, right? So for user 1 also the same scenario applies. It contains the information which is useful for user 1, that is data 1, and it also contains the information which is meant for user 0, and in this case it will be an interference when we come to user 1, because it's meant for user 0 and it is also reaching out to the user 1. And of course there will be a additive white Gaussian noise which will be added whenever the signal is transmitting through the environment. So this is the meaning of multi-user CDMA SINR, right? Now we have got an clear picture about the problem which we are facing. So now we will deal with some of the mathematical equations and some terminologies so that we can arrive at the optimum SINR equation. Okay, so okay, the composite signal for user 0, that is user 0 and user 1. So user 0 will be x naught of n equal to a naught into c naught of n. So a naught is the data meant for user 0 and c naught of n is the spreading code which is used for user 0. And x1 of 1, similarly for user 1 I can write the signal x1 of n equal to a1, that is the data of user 1, and the spreading code used for the user 1, c1 of n, right? Now I will be combining these two signals to make my composite signal. So composite signal is denoted by x of n, and it is the addition of x naught of n and x1 of n. Okay, so now I have okay, so I have my composite signal. The next thing is to transmit it through the environment. So when you transmit it through the environment, the signal will be denoted by y of n, that is at the receiver end. It contains x of n, the transmitted signal, plus w of n, that is additive white Gaussian noise which will be added as I already told in the environment. Okay, so then w of n is white noise, that I already told, right? Then now at the receiver y of n will be x of n will be x naught of n plus x1 of n. So x naught of n is a naught into c naught of n, a naught into c naught of n plus then x1 of n is a1 into c1 of n plus w of n is the white noise. So this signal will be received at user 0 and user 1. The same signal will be reaching out to those two guys. Okay, now I will try to find out the power for this signal. So if I write it in terms of square, then it will be obviously power, that is rate of change of energy. So E of a naught square is p naught and E of a1 square is p1, that is the power corresponding to user 0 is denoted as P naught, and power corresponding to user 1 is denoted as P1. Okay, now let us see how we can decode the signal at the receiver. So to recover the signals at the receiver, we will be doing correlation here, that is multiplying with the same sequence which is used at the transmitter. So let us say D naught is the data meant for user 0, that is first we are decoding for the user 0 here. So correlation means 1 by n, this is the formula, D naught equal to 1 by n, I equal to 0 to n minus 1, that is total number of sequences, and y of n into c naught of n. So c naught of n, why you are using means we are decoding it for the user 0 first. So 1 by n, I equal to 0 to n minus 1. So y of n I already found here. Okay, so just put that one, a naught into c naught of n, then again c naught of n, because we are multiplying. So for y of n, a naught into c naught of n into c naught of n into c naught of n plus 1 by n, I equal to 0 to n minus 1, a1 into c1 of n into c naught of n, a1 into c1 of n into c naught of n, and the same thing applies for the white noise as well. So w of n into c naught of n, w of n into c naught of n we are writing here. Now from this equation it can be clearly identified that this is the desired signal for the user, and this is the interference from the user 1, and this is the noise. Okay, so now I have got these three components. Now I have to find out the power of these three components, and I will just simply put that in the SINR equation, that is the total transmitted power of user 1 divided by the total noise here. So that is the noise from the power from the user 1 and the power from the noise. So if I find the power for these three components, then my derivation will be done. Alright, so now how I will be proceeding. So first I will take this component, that is desired user. I will try to find out the power for this one. So 1 by n, I equal to 0 to n minus 1, a naught of c naught of n into c naught of n. So a naught I will take outside here, right? So 1 by n, I equal to 0 to n minus 1, c naught of n into c naught of n. So a naught into, so this is nothing but the correlation formula, that is correlation of signal 0 with respect to 0 with a time delay of 0, because they are received at a time. So I mean there is no n minus 1 component here, so only n component is there, that means no delay. So this is the autocorrelation. So R00 of 0, and we know that autocorrelation will be equal to 1, so a naught into 1 will be equal to a naught itself, right? So now I have found the first component, that is desired user. Now I will try to find out for the interfere now. So let us denote it as I1, that is interference from the first user. So 1 by n, I equal to 0 to n minus 1, a1 into c1 of n into c naught of n. Just copy that thing here. Then a1 will be taken outside, and we will be left with 1 by n, I equal to 0 to n minus 1, c1 of n into c naught of n, and which in turn can be written as a1 into r0 of 1, that is the cross correlation between 0 and 1, that is 0th user and the first user with a time delay of 0. Okay, so next I want to find out the power for this one, that is user 1. So E of I1 square, the square term here denotes the power. Okay, so if you just simply take E of I1, then it will become power, and if you take E of I1 square, then it will become power. Okay, so those are the basics which I have already learned in the previous sessions. Now E of I1 square will be equal to E of I1 square is, so I1 I have already found, that is A1 into R01 of 0 whole square. Okay, so now I will split these terms A1 and R01. So energy of E of A1 square and E of RO1 square. So A1 square, that is the energy of the user 1, that is the energy corresponding to the user data 1, I already found here, right? So energy corresponding to the user 1, I already find it as P1. So I will just make use of that one and put it as P1 here. And R01 cross correlation will be always 1 by n. So this is from the properties of PN sequence. Autocorrelation will be 1, and cross correlation will be equal to 1 by n for any sequence. So from that property I can write cross correlation as 1 by n, where n indicates the length of the PN sequence which is used for decoding and encoding. Then I can write P1 by n as the composite power for the first interferer. Okay, so the power will be spread by a factor of n here. So as the number of bits used in the PN sequence increases, then the interference capacity of the user one will decrease. So that's the beauty of CDMA, why we are going for that one. Okay, so already in advantages of CDMA, we have discussed about those things, right? So apart from that, now I will try to find out the noise power here. Okay, so that's also very important. W naught tilde. So 1 by n into I equal to 0 to n minus 1 W of n into C naught of n. So I have this value. Now let us try to find out the average value of that one, that is E of W naught. So average value, how I can find. So E of 1 by n j I equal to 0 to n minus 1 W of n into C naught of n. So 1 by n I will take outside, and energy of Wn and C naught of n. So energy of W of n, that is the average value of noise, will be always equal to 0, because it's not a constant, so it will be always changing, right? So that's why 0 into C naught of n will go to 0. Now I will try to find out the power of that one. So I will take W naught square. So I'll be multiplying W naught and W naught, the opposite of that one, then the Hermitian. So I can take 1 by n from both these, and it will become 1 by n square. So I am taking two new terms here. So to differentiate between the limits, n equal to 0 to n minus 1 and m equal to 0 to n minus 1, the same thing, W of n into C naught of n, W star of n into C naught star of n. That is composite signal, or the conjugate signal, I can say, right? So after that, I will just take the limits outside, because they are same limits, and W of n into C naught of n, W Hermitian of n into C naught Hermitian of n. So I can write W of W naught of n square and C naught of n square. So 1 by n square into, so the correlation for this one will be sigma n square, right? So 1 by n square into n sigma n square. So I can write sigma n square divided by n here. So this n and this one will go, and this sigma n square by n will be left as the power. Right. So after that, I can just cross verify it with the help of this equation also, that is the average value. So if you take average value of W of n and W star of m and C naught of n into C naught star of n, it will obviously go to, these two terms will go to 0, and obviously they will take them as well to 0, right? So now I have found the average value for all these three components. Now it's time to find out the SINR. So signal to interference noise ratio, signal power divided by interferer power plus noise power. I have not written completely, but it's understood that signal power will be in the numerator, then interference power and noise power. Signal power I have just found as P naught, and noise power I have found it as P1 by n. So you can see here I'm taking P1 by n plus, just now I have found the noise power here. So sigma n square by n. So I'm taking sigma n square by n. So I can write this is the common denominator. So I will take it to the numerator, n into P naught by P1 plus sigma n square. So this is the final equation which will be deriving in case of multi-user CDMA. So this is the derivation which is generally asked for 10 marks in any university exams. So thank you, thanks for watching. If you have any doubt, please comment in the comment box. So thank you guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.